Like Felix said, which Felix, the Rev, I will agree with him. They say you leave the baby at a firehouse, at a police station, at a church, at a hospital.
Nobody will question
No
it.
questions asked. If you're gonna walk to a dumpster, you could walk a little farther to a police station or a firehouse and leave the baby. Okay, I mean, I find that unconscionable. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that.
What he said was if a hypothetical situation which doesn't exist. Am I right?
Because that's his MO. He always says, "Oh, I've been misinterpreted." He said, "Nobody is more misinterpreted than I am." You know. Yeah, he wants to be attorney general. Well,
What did he say? What did he say?
what?
No, what question did they ask him? What was the question? What question did
Chris Matthews?
What did Chris Matthews ask
Chris
him?
Matthews asked him.
No, I want to know
So
what she knows about it. Hold on, please.
I thought you wanted me to. Oh, all right.
So you only heard the one part what Trump said. That's the first part of a bad reporter. You got to hear the whole thing. I'm not agreeing with Trump, by the way. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. Chris Matthews was egging him on. If abortion was illegal in the United States, somebody has to pay for it, don't they? Doesn't
No.
somebody? Yes, he did. You want to put it on? He said.
No,
somebody,
he said what Chris Matthews said was, according to what you just said, somebody has to pay. Then he said, who are you going to make pay? The woman, the man, the doctor? He said, everybody loves nurses. You're not going to make the nurses pay. It becomes a matter of the woman for choosing to have an abortion and the doctor who's going to perform the abortion.
But
He
Matthews
said,
didn't say any of that.
huh?
That's your interpretation.
No,
Matthews never
Matthews
said
did
that.
say that.
You want to hear it right now?
Yeah, put it on.
Okay. You want to hear what Chris Matthews asked?
I mean, if I'm wrong, it's what's implied.
Yeah. But listen, the whole point is, and I'm not agreeing with what Trump said. He was 100% wrong. But they pushed him to a point where if something is illegal, somebody's got to get punished for it.
But you know
Basically.
something? Imagine how, Trump has a young son, I believe.
He does, yes.
or a daughter.
He has a young son.
He has a young son. All right. That's no. Marla Maples had a kid. Okay, and then that's it. Oh, all right.
He has a young girl. He has a young now. He has a young boy with his new wife.
Melania had a kid.
Yes. He's like 12 years old. 12.
I didn't know they were together so long. Well, whatever.
All right. 50% of Americans oppose most abortions. That's the CNN latest.
That's because
That's
the
CNN's latest
bulk
poll.
of them are all Republicans.
CNN's latest poll.
Well, all right, they're Republicans. That's
Which
why.
CNN is?
Huh?
CNN's Republican?
Not CNN. the bulk of the women, if you
It
have
doesn't matter. 58% of the people in the United States
right, and
oppose it.
if you have 40%, let's say, of Democrats don't support abortion. No, wait. If you have 85% of Republican women are against abortion, okay, and 50% of Democratic women are against abortion, it's still going to come out like 58% because of that high percentage of Republican women.
It's by numbers. It's all numbers.
I know that.
And my point is, abortion is not that popular in the United States. That's all I'm saying. It's not that popular. And our laws and just about everything.
Well, I have news for you, and I don't want to sound racist, but abortion is very popular amongst white people because they either have the money, okay, number one, and number two, that's why it's so hard to find a white baby.
All right, well, listen, you go to have you ever gone to one of the abortion sites?
No.
Have you ever seen them?
Why would I? I know the pictures that they show.
No, I've passed by those. One used to be on Queens Boulevard. Okay, there were women. There were the right wing or the priests and the nuns trying to stop people from going in there to get the abortions. But 98% of people going in there were black.
Because
they were going to a site that was free for abortion.
Right.
But you're saying it's a lot of. So you're saying most abortions are done by whites. I disagree with you.
And they're all coming after Planned Parenthood when a very small percentage of abortions are performed by Planned Parenthood as opposed to giving women mammograms, all right, dispensing birth control. Women who come there who are pregnant, they give them advice on vitamins and how to take care of themselves so the baby is born healthy.
That's what Trump said. Trump supports Planned Parenthood.
I know he does.
It's crazy.
But the Republican Party does not.
Sakik defunded it in his state in Ohio.
I know he did.
And he's much more, he's very to the right on that. But listen, the Catholic religion.
And Christie did it in Jersey.
You're not a good Catholic if you believe in abortion.
Well, but you see, Chris Matthews, who first of all, he went to Catholic school his whole life. College, he went to Holy Cross. Okay? They used to discuss questions of ethics like this in the classroom. And Trump asked him, you know the Catholic Church's stance on abortion. How do you feel? And what he said was, Chris Matthews, he said, religiously and I don't know if he said ethically or morally, I understand and accept my church's stance, but he said it still is a woman's right to choose what she's going to do. Okay? It's like when they asked John Kennedy about him being Catholic, is that going to sway you one way or the other because you feel you have an allegiance to the Pope and the Catholic Church? And John Kennedy said, above everything else, I'm an American first. I'm a Catholic American, because in those days, all the presidents were Protestant.
But they were still religious.
But they felt back in those days that a Catholic person's first, their
first obligation
goes to the church. It's like if you elected Bernie Sanders because he's Jewish, all right? That doesn't mean that he's going to agree with everything Israel does, okay, because he's Jewish.
Oh, by the way, that wasn't women. That was 58% of total population. I have to look at the women.
Well, I guess if they told you, if they showed women, you would see.
I'll look right now.
You know,
I did before.
What happened to Chris Matthews?
Well, I'm going through 10 different things.
You're trying to do too many things at once there, Rev. It's probably.
I'll put it up.
Yeah, it's see Rebellious Rev.
Just like the computer is slowing down with all this playing that I'm doing here, and I want to make sure we don't lose the show trying to find a.
But anyway, the scuttlebutt, is that Trump is going to have a hard time walking this back, and they say he's going to win New York big, and he's going to win Pennsylvania big, but when it comes down to the rest of the country that has yet to have a primary. He's not going to see the numbers that he sees now.
They're not that sure. That's the whole problem. They were talking about it today on CNN, and they called him the presidential walking zombie. He's going to walk into He's going to walk right into the presidency because of his numbers.
No, 2 weeks from this Tuesday. It's about 2.5 weeks away, the 19th. Yeah,
but we're not registered Republicans, so we can't vote.
Well, no, the Democrats have it the same day. So
no, we can't vote for we can't vote for Trump or Kasich.
Well, look, I'm not a Republican, but if I was a Republican, the only relatively moderate person is John Kasich, but he's so far behind right now.
Yeah, but he's more to the right than Trump. That's the problem.
Yeah, but Trump. Oh, and then we haven't even touched on what he said about nuclear weapons. Okay, he would not rule out or take off the table the use of, nuclear weapons. So he was asked.
Everybody said they would not rule it out. There's not a president that would say they would rule it out. It's what he said that he wouldn't rule it out using. He said he's going to leave all those options open.
One of the pundits said what Trump lacks is the ability to know how to juggle a question and give an answer without giving an answer. Okay? He knows a little bit about everything. Okay? But sometimes, obviously, from this past week, what he says can get him in trouble.
Yeah, of course.
Okay? Religion, abortion, nuclear weapons, those are topics you tend to stay away from. You don't run into them head on, Still.
Well,
it's not the summertime anymore. It's
what he's trying to do basically is be everything to everybody.
Well, when you try to please everybody, you please nobody. The old saying. No, we're here. Felix is the Rev. Excuse me. The Rev is looking something up here.
So.
Well, we are space cadets, there's a lot of air between our ears, I have to tell you.
I haven't even looked to see if anybody's on the chat rooms or anything.
Well, we haven't given our number since the beginning. What schedule? As far as your shot goes. Oh, I saw that, yeah.